man, and welcome back to another episode of Art Survival Evolved. Today, we're going to continue our wall video with another wall video. This one is going to expand upon what we taught in the last one and show you what honeycombing is. We're also going to show you how to maybe toughen up that wall just a little more, some ideas I've had that can make your wall or keep it from collapsing, basically, from basic pressure and stuff like that. So stick around and we will show you how to do that. Alright guys, welcome back, and so far you can see we got a foundation wall going. So basically we're going along with the same lines we had last time, and what we're going to do at this moment right now is we are going to put these in our inventory and we're going to honeycomb the wall. This is the first thing that we are going to do to help strengthen the wall. Now this is a very expensive project and should only be done if you are capable of doing it. I would never suggest this on a wood structure, and the reason why is wood structures are not very strong, and they do not stop dinosaurs from eating through them. Metal is a completely impervious wall, meaning you have to put rockets in, so you only get area of effect damage that a rocket can do, or maybe some C4, which means they're not going to eat through the wall. Now, Gigas, on the other hand, they might push their nose through a stone wall, so stone is kind of but generally they can't push themselves through and damage multiple sections in metal still. So metal is the safest tier to do this in. I would not do this in any other tier. But what you can see we're doing right now is we are laying down the sections like this. And what we're going to do next is this. Alright, and you can see basically we've created each individual section. I'll bring you back when I have a little more done, just to give you an idea of what's going on. Alright guys, we're back, and it's raining. Pouring, I should say. I wish they had hurricanes. But we've got a honeycomb wall here. We did not place this front plate on purpose, and that was so you could see exactly what it looks like when you honeycomb. You can see each little section has its own section, and we will be eventually putting the plates on the rest of this for demonstration. I did want to show you something that I found that made it much more simple to build your walls, and that was to build your walls in this manner. If you have the material to go straight from nothing to this, then what I really suggest is getting up in here, building this foundation, slapping that wall down, slapping the left and right wall down, leave the face open, and then climb up in here if you can. This one apparently I can't. But then when you're up here, jump up and place the structures one at a time from the top to bottom, and that will get you them down more efficiently. Trying to climb up on top can probably do it, but I get a lot of misplacements when I'm up there, so it was just easier for me to place the left and right wall than the top. Also, if you place the left and right wall, that's extra support, keeps Rexes from coming through. They have a very narrow path to shoot at, or they have to come at it at an angle and shoot it if you're building it at the same time. Now, I would warn you, if they see something like this happening, the Alpha Drive is probably going to come after you, so be careful with this one. Make sure you're quick to get it built and then hide it. Do not leave this open to show what you've done with your wall, because this is next level arc right here. This right here, when I show you here in a minute, it's going to allow you to punch holes in the wall and still the wall will stand. Alright guys, so next on the list of things to do to make your wall stronger. Obviously this was very expensive, but we're going to have to get a little more expensive. And the reason why is these structures right here, these foundations, are your weakest point at the moment for this entire honeycomb wall. Now you might be like, well, that's not really true. But here, when you hit the end of your wall, let's say this is the edge of the wall. This is right against one of your behemoth gates because that's how you had it set up. So your support for your behemoth for your wall is here, here, and here. That supports, those are the only three foundations that are supporting this structure right here, this left one. Now as you move over, this one supports it, this one, and this one. So the center of your wall is the harder parts to take out, but the edges of your wall are probably the easiest, which means you probably should reinforce your edges a little more. But just in general, you're going to want to reinforce this whole wall because they're going to want to go for these foundations. If they take out your foundations, you are in some trouble. You are in some major trouble, and so what you can do to help reinforce it is pull out some fence foundations, and you'll see they won't snap to anything. Wait a minute, did that snap? Alright, ooh, look at that. That snapped right along it. I don't know if that's supposed to do that. Is it supposed to do that? I'm curious, or was I just that lucky? I think I kind of got lucky. It looks like it's, yeah, it is snapping. They do snap, which I really have to wonder about that, but you can see where you can place a fence foundation. And so place these along your wall, and the next thing you're going to do is place walls along these fence foundations. Now, why are you doing this? And that's because of those foundations. You need to protect these foundations because they are the strongest part of your wall. It looks like that one actually snapped to the side of the wall, which is really cool. Oh. You might not even need these fence foundations, although I would suggest the fence foundations as well for additional protection. But you can see, you can snap a fence foundation, snap a wall into your foundation, and then place a wall to protect your fence foundations. But what basically this does, and now that was a pretty cool thing to do, yeah, it'll do this all the way around, it looks like. Yeah, so if you can, especially if you have no clip, you'll be able to do this really easy. Place some walls along the edge of your fence foundation. If you don't have no clip, go with the fence foundation method where you block off the front plate. So alright guys, the next thing on the list here is to put ramps down. And why would you put the ramps down? And it looks like these are clipping through, but this is probably what you do on official servers. You'll put them on these. So go ahead and get out those metal ramps and put them down. And the reason why is they provide another extra layer of protection for those foundations. And you might be wondering, why are we fixating so much on these foundations? These foundations are the life of this wall. If they fall, you lose the entire wall. And so this is the most important thing to protect. And so you're going to want to plate this fairly well, because the rest of the wall can just be reinforced and replated. I mean, you don't even have to honeycomb the next section of the wall if you wanted to double this up. But all you got to do is double up the wall or put a back plate and you've got a new wall. And if they're punching through this section and you just kind of stretch the ceilings over, there's all kinds of things you can do to make this wall so much stronger just by adding another layer behind it. That this is like not nearly as important as this up here. Make sure you double up on your behemoth gates on the side here, triple, quadruple, however many behemoth gates, so the frames will help protect this because you don't want to lose the side. The side is a weakness here. But now you've got these ramps, and what can you do with ramps? Well, you can put auto turrets down. So I'm going to spawn in a few auto turrets and we'll put them down too. Alright guys, we're back, and you can see we have another row of foundations behind this wall. Now, at this point, I would even suggest building up the wall thicker because you've already started the next row, and these things are expensive. They always have been. But if you don't want to do that, or you just don't have the time for that, leave them just like that. And the reason why is this is still going to provide extra support for this. So I'm going to show you exactly what this wall can now take. Alright guys, we were waiting for the fog to come up, and now we are ready to show you about this wall. Just going to point out the bottom here real quick again. This is armor, 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 and more armor for the, well, this is all armor for the foundations down here, which are your lifeblood for this entire wall. You can see there's another section back here. These are going to try and hold up this back wall if this were to fall. That's at least the hope. I'm not sure if these will, so this is just kind of a test on that note. Up here, you can see there are several. You can see it's all honeycombed, and it's also 4 high, and you should always at least build your wall 4 high. This stops Rexes and Gigas from getting through. Rexes can't climb over a 3 high, although I have seen a few glitch over occasionally. This ramp might be a bit of a problem with that, so you might want to step it up 1 higher. It's going to be more expensive, but it's worth it to have the extra armor down at the bottom. Which one's the loaded one? That's the loaded one. And we're just going to start. We're going to start off by punching holes in the actual wall, and you're going to see exactly what I was referring to about these walls being so tough. Alright guys, so as you can see there has been a major disconnect between the wall, and there is a nice little hole, but I'm going to tell you right now there's not much going to make it through this wall. And you can see I have blasted and blasted at the foundations trying to destroy it. I have went through 3 rocket launchers, a little bit was wasted up here on that, but you can see a lot of the armor I placed down seems like it's falling apart, and it is a surprise to me as well. But even then, to even stop the penetration at all, I feel it's worth it. I mean, they only cost 25 versus how much I had to spend in rockets to penetrate it. It made it worth it to me, and it only penetrates nearby structures. As I kept working it, you could see other ones breaking, but even then occasionally I had to fire through this. But you can see there's a disconnect here. You got 1, 2 foundations here. This is still supporting it right now. There is nothing holding this up other than right over here. You can see this is still holding, this is still holding. This is the spots right here and here. And right here is the very middle. This is the one structure right here that is still standing. And the reason why it's still standing is because of the honeycomb. The honeycomb is holding it all up. There's nothing else holding it up other than the ceilings across the way. And this is essentially why you honeycomb. Now, another testing I would like to do is to destroy all this and leave just this and see if this will hold up everything. But I don't know if that's going to be possible, being that the ceilings will also help hold them up. I think the foundations would give out first. We could just go ahead and demo them. That's a good way to test it. You can see so far we're actually still holding up. I think this is, yep, this is still supporting it. So this back piece, because that, by removing that, that should have gotten rid of it. Let's see. Let's go back there and see if we can remove a few more. Alright, so we have gone all the way through. All the foundations have been destroyed on the other end, but you can see it's still standing. And the reason why it's still standing is because this guy right here is supporting it, and if we were to break this one, what would happen? Even after all that is demoed, look at that. That is a strong wall. The back foundations are holding everything up despite foundation destruction. That means you're going to have to punch holes in this or get to these structures back here, which means fighting with whoever is trying to stop you. So eventually, you're either going to fire a lot of rockets because you're never going to get up here to place a C4, or you're going to have to murder him so many times he can't stop you and hope all his turrets are drained if he had any behind the walls, which would be a great thing to do. And just hope that he is not that good to block you out of here. We're going to demo that. And we're going to demo this. If I demo this, this whole section should fall. Yep. These back structures were holding it all up. Now this was still standing for some reason. What are you standing on? What are you standing on? I honestly don't know. Is there a foundation underneath? Glitch of the Matrix? So somehow that was even still supporting it. That's pretty cool. Oh, I think I know what that was from. That was from the one that went down and snapped to the thing anyway. That's pretty cool. So there's another reason if you have no clip to do that, because the ones that snap to the foundations will support that, which means it will support your wall vertically anyway. We didn't do that all the way down, that's why that didn't happen. So this is all really cool information. But that is how you build a super strong wall, and as you can see, it supports itself, and it can lean over and bridge over and support itself even if you destroyed all the foundations on top. I mean, this little section right here is still holding because of over here. So yeah, that's it right there. So alright guys, that is going to be it for this video. It looks like we have figured out how to build a super wall. Definitely, if you're worried about getting raided, try and build something like this. This is going to help protect your wall. It's very expensive, but the resources that you put in are well worth the protection it provides. Uh, Other than that, you guys take care, and I'll catch you next time.